Hey, and welcome to another episode of Gooner Down Under TV. And boy, I hope you can't see me dripping in sweat. It is so damn hot here in Australia, but it doesn't matter. We got the win. That's all that we care about. Got up at about 4 a.m. with my wife to watch the game before work. And you best believe if we did not win, even if it was a draw, it would have been a miserable day. Would have been grumpy with everyone. But we didn't need to get there. We got the win. It was a professional performance at a place we haven't won in 5 years. It's crazy to think, regardless of how bad Everton's been, we haven't been able to get the results there. And I think that's sort of, a little indication of the tide turning. I think we're getting more professional and, elevating our levels year on year because we're starting to win at grounds that we've been historically just bottling it and losing at. I think the biggest takeaway from the game is we did not let that powerhouse midfield run the show like they did last year. Onana, Doucouré, Idrissa Gana Gueye all kept quiet. Didn't even really know if they were playing for most of it. I thought, we really handled ourselves well. We didn't let, them get into our heads, try and play scrappy. We controlled the game at our pace and we forced them to play how we wanted to play. Especially that box midfield of Zinchenko, Rice, Vieira, and Odegaard all played really well. Like I said, controlled the ball, and it was really good to see Fabio Vieira step in. A lot of us had hesitations of how he's going to step up against those more physical teams. I feel like there's no bigger test than Everton's midfield, to be honest. And he was on it. He was absolutely on it, which was really good to see. He was making underlying runs, crosses into the box, was about half a millimeter away from a really nice assist to Martinelli. And that is exactly what we've been wanting from that left-sided eight. When Kai Havertz has been playing, not to throw any shade, but every time he gets the ball, it's always back to the defense or sort of just not even turning, facing up towards goal. He's just trying to get rid of it as quick as possible. So potentially that's a player low on confidence, but we can't afford to keep, forcing it. He needs to naturally be able to build that through time. And I think, when he did step in, as a sub, he did well. He did exactly what he needed to do. He won the ball back multiple times, which is really nice to see. Played a couple passes, kept it, professional. And for this sort of standard of when you're coming in, you just need to hold on to that lead. Did his job perfectly today. Besides that, I thought Zinchenko was fantastic, breaking the line constantly. But a lot of times we were sort of opening them up was due to him, some over-the-top passes to Trossard, who I think was maybe just offside a couple times, but multiple times he was definitely breaking the lines, and I think it goes to show how important he is as that inverted fullback. Partey, yes, he can sort of do similar things, but he just isn't as fluid as coming in and out of that left back position. I think overall, to a man, everyone played really well. Especially, I'm going to give a massive shout out to William Saliba, who just cleared everything up in that defense. I think besides him, Ben White, Gabriel played well too, but I think Saliba is just a level above at the moment. He's just absolutely class. Again, similar to sort of how we played, he's composed, never looks like he's under danger. Just, yeah, casually clears it, moves it on, and then that's it. We're back onto our attack. I think, he's criminally underrated, even though he is rated highly. I think he is on the precipice, didn't even know I had that word in my locker, of being world class. Real quick, sort of do want to dive into these stats a little bit. I think sometimes stats can get a little bit misconstrued. Gosh, what's happening with my words today? That game against Fulham, if you see our expected goals and their expected goals, there was a massive separation. It looked like we were 100 times the better team, but that doesn't always relate into results. I think today, even though the results or the stats maybe weren't as sort of one-sided, they were, but not as much as that Fulham game, I would say. We got the win, and I think that's something stats doesn't always necessarily incorporate, is that professionalism, managing a game, sometimes that can go under the radar. But real quick, we had 74% possession. Like I said, we kept the ball all the time. Anytime they got it, I feel like we got it back within about 20 seconds. Some of that, I'm going to say, is because of how well we played, how well we pressed. Some of it is how poor Everton was. Their ball control, their touch was terrible. Every time they put one pass in, it'd go completely out of bounds. And I think a lot of that goes to show that they are nowhere near where they used to be. In terms of shots, we had 13, they had 8. I would argue a lot of those 8 shots for them really had no threat of doing anything whatsoever. Similar to ours, 13 shots sort of boosts us up more than we probably had. We had one chance with Odegaard, who probably should have scored. Besides that, in terms of shot opportunities, we didn't have too many. There was that Martinelli goal that was offside, and then Trossard's beautiful strike, that sort of won us the game. Besides that, we had a lot of half chances, crosses that nearly got to someone. There was a chance where Odegaard could have slipped it into Jesus for an open goal, didn't make that pass, so that doesn't necessarily come up into stats of chance creations or possibilities, but I think that was a shot, that was a chance that we really should have capitalized on. Real quick, I'm going to go back here, and because I want to quickly talk about Leandro Trossard before I go into more stats. I can't believe I forgot about him. That strike just goes to show how much of an unbelievable finisher he is. For me, I think he's the best goal scorer we have. He's so technically brilliant. He can score the same goal with his left foot, with his right foot, outside the box, inside the box, between 3 defenders, tap in. He has everything. I think sometimes, maybe he doesn't get as much of a chance as he deserves. And it's hard because, we do have a stacked squad. Martinelli always makes an impact as well. And hopefully his injury is not too bad. But, maybe this is the opportunity Trossard needed to sort of stake his claim back into this starting 11. Because finishers like that, if you can do that on a consistent basis, that really elevates our dynamism. What's happening again? Our sort of ability to just not even need to create too many, but just have a half chance, and bam, with his left foot curled it into the corner. He gives us so many different variations or styles of play as well. He can beat his defender one-on-one. He can sort of come in, cross it, or come in, shoot outside the box. So I think he's just an absolute complete player. And real quick, let me know, if he sort of keeps this up, does he deserve to start over Martinelli? Personally, I'm a little bit biased. I just love Martinelli, but I can't argue with results. So if he keeps scoring game after game, I guess he is going to have to be our starting man. But I'm going to get back into this. Had to give Trossard his moment after that brilliant goal and winning us the game. Can't believe it took me so long to get to him. But, got up at 4. Just keep rolling with it. We're just here to have fun anyway. So where was I? Back to that. Shots on target. We had 4 to their 1. I think another one maybe was that Ben White opportunity where there was some little nice triangles, intricate play between him and Odegaard, and he takes a shot with his left. It wasn't a bad effort, and something I want to maybe see more from Ben White and just our players in general. If we can start getting more shots outside the box on target where we're just half questioning the goalkeeper, I think that's really going to get teams out of their shell and stop these massive low blocks, because they're going to have to start defending us further out onto that pitch. I think that's something Rodri from Man City does excellently. Anytime he gets space, he's always a threat for a long-range strike. And so teams are going to have to start adjusting, which then gives, the likes of Haaland, Doku, etc. a lot of space. I think that's something we're going to have to look into. Maybe if it's Zinchenko or Declan Rice, just questioning the goalkeeper, questioning that defense. They're not going to be able to clamp down into our box. They're going to have to defend us, further up. Besides that, I don't want to go too much into the stats, but like I said, we did have a lot of set pieces. So we had 11 corners to their 1. We ended up again 2 weeks in a row, or 2 games in a row, scoring off a corner. Although technically, we sort of had a few different passes before we got into that shot from Trossard. It was off a corner, and I think that's a really good indication that we're finally able to start scoring off set pieces. You know, we can't always rely on open play. We need to start getting creative and finding different ways to break different teams down. But if you keep me here, I'm going to be rambling way too long. I got to go to bed, so I'm going to try and call it here. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of the game. As always as well, please like and subscribe these videos. They're going to keep coming, so hopefully you're enjoying them. I'm going to leave it here for tonight. That is all from me. Peace.